varies in depth quite a bit. Let's drop down and see what we have. Sea bass, 13 inches long to keep, you're about 15 per person. You're going to see some bluefish today, and they have to secure about 5 of them a person, 8 inches on them. And you might see some porgies come up. We had a few down here. It's been about 3 weeks since I
그
fished down
드라그를
here.
내가 아까 전에 좀 풀었으니까 체크해 보세요.
The last time I was here, we had more up north, but some more may have moved down here. If we get any of them, that's a 8-inch.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to Fishing Tackle Channel. So this trip on Ocean Princess was 10-hour trip on the 29th November. So something happened, and basically there were no more good size, keeper size black sea bass around. So we were still getting keepers now and then, but I think the most someone caught was maybe 6 keeper or so. This time around, usually for the last 5 years I've been fishing, everybody should be limiting or at least getting 10 or more. So this was somewhat different, right? So the captain tried everything he could do. He moved around, went to spot that he saved for these kind of occasion, and even then it wasn't biting. So kudos to him for trying his best. He went out farther than he usually would on a fall trip. There you go. And he doesn't waste time. That's what's so great about Ocean Princess. You know, normally if it's anchored, you know, it's hard to take the anchor out and move, but then he would not hesitate to move to get rest of the boat catching. So it's not all about just one or a couple individuals catching keeper, right? He wants to make sure the whole boat is catching, so he monitors that along with, I think, Jeff, and they keep count, believe it or not, if you guys watch them, and then they'll move. I mean, 1 or 2 people, the regulars catching, is not what he's taking people out for. He wants everyone to get their limits as much as possible. So but you know, it's fishing, sometimes this happens, and I can't imagine what they're going through, right? Even Jeff, especially when you have difficult customers, not like me and my colleague who's fishing today. We had a blast. You know, we caught, the total fishing count for us was, I think, like maybe 5 bluefish, only because we were avoiding catching bluefish. There were a lot of bluefish around, so if you were looking for limiting bluefish, you could definitely catch it. Yes, if you please subscribe and like this video and leave a comment if you've been on a trip and what you guys think of recent trip or this year's sea bass trip. For some reason, spring summer did much better this year, but fall fishing, the fish are going out even though it's not as cold as it usually is for some reason. So he moved and we anchored, and I'm fishing with my Korean coworker who's new at using a low profile fishing reel. He brought a spinning reel and he was struggling because we went deep. So spinning reel is great for maybe personally I think within 50 to max 80 feet, but beyond that, I don't know. I think it's way too much. So going with low profile light reel or round reel is the way to go. Casting reel is the way to go. So I let him use the spare one I had, and he definitely appreciated it. And the next trip he decided he's gonna change all of at least buy another rod and a reel for boat trips in the future. But anyways, here, yeah, guess what you guys think that is? I kind of knew right away because the gentleman next to me, he already caught one, and another person nearby caught another one. So this spot right here, this ground, even though we went to 160 feet, I think, or so.
Wow. That's a big
Yeah, somebody got a
flounder.
big flounder, like a 22, 23-inch flounder. And here, I'm
Captain
thinking,
flounder.
I got a, what do I have? And
Oh, I
I
got
kind of
flounder
knew. I was surprised.
Jeff,
I had a nice,
I
like
have a
a
flounder too, Captain.
18, 19-inch flounder here. So Jeff came to me because the other
He
person
had
is also a
flounder.
regular,
He called it first,
but Jeff thought I was gonna lose my flounder because I suck at fishing. Just kidding.
sorry.
But yeah, he came and helped me out.
Hey guys, let me get you to crack them up.
But yeah, there were 3 flounder on the drop. On this drop, we had 3 straight flounder. So the captain really
Right through there.
got us on a flounder ground. But again, it wasn't about him not understanding. He figured
We double
no one was
flounder.
no one was catching sea bass,
triple
and
flounder.
he
You
wanted
got a
people to
flounder
get
too?
on sea bass. Not a
This is a
this
flounder.
wasn't a flounder trip. So
Yeah.
he moved us
Congrats to you
to
too.
another spot,
You got a giant one.
and he I think it got better as we went along. Looks a lot smaller. When I measured it, it came out to be almost 20 inches, I think.
Thank you. Make sure.
And that gentleman who caught, older gentleman, he and his fishing buddy. It was an easy keeper. But they're really friendly. You could tell they're seasoned fishermen because I think they got at least 5 or 6 sea bass keeper each. Also like a nice triggerfish too, I think. But yeah, they're a pleasure to chat with and fish with. My coworker also has some tangles, and they're very cool about it. I'm just saying this because recent trip we went, we had one of those terrible, like, people that just sour about fishing, right? When they're not catching.
터질지 모르니까
So,
그냥 슉 하고
Keep out for that video. Once I edit it, I'll upload it.
넘기면
But when that happens, man,
아,
such a bad,
이게
just
푸 나올지도 모르겠네.
brings you down too, right? I'm somewhat of an optimistic, positive guy. But
Yeah,
when you
푸
got
날지도
some
몰라.
fishermen that come and just be sour about not catching fish, and then blame everybody else, like a little 5th grader child, right? It's kind of sad, but man, I kind of understand it. Having had a grandmother who had being around older people, including my mom. It's like sometimes, it sucks to be old and you no longer have patience and positivity that you used to have. But anyways, back to fishing. We kind of had a blast because it was a non-stop bite. Not so for a lot of people. The regulars were cool about it because we've been there, done that. Ocean Princess, I'm a little bit surprised that we didn't get more jumbo, even though the captain took us really deep, and he even said this area has been safe for this kind of occasion for a while, and he hasn't fished this spot to let the fish in the area grow. But I think my theory is that there are big fish down there. The thing is, I think because there's so many smaller sized bass being really aggressive and very hungry, it's the big fish is just not being able to get to the bait on time, and most of us are hooking. And see this one, like some of these fish, let me see, is this a bluefish that I missed? I did have a bluefish that was a giant one, probably the biggest I've caught this year, but and it should have been a easy pool winner. But here's a tip: when you get a big bluefish on Ocean Princess and you're playing the pool for the jackpot, call Jeff. I should call them. I thought I could just swing it over, and the hook. At that time, I think I wasn't using my assist hook. Wasn't good enough. Wasn't the stronger one where I secured it with like electrical tape, so it came off. I think it ripped off, or the hook came off the lip. And what sucks more is I got cut off. I don't know if the video is gonna show. Oh, maybe this isn't the bluefish. Oh yeah, that is a bluefish. That's the one that I don't even know what happened to the video. It got cut off. This GoPro Hero 8. Do not buy that. Thankfully, a buddy of mine, fishing buddy of mine, he gave me his Hero 12, which is a huge upgrade, going from 8 to 12. The stability, the quality, and I don't get these like disconnection or suddenly stop recording kind of errors and stuff like that. But anyways, I low profile. I know some people think so. Low profiles on anything like 150 and deeper gets hard, but the handle, once I changed the handle, I had the same issue with the pedal handle, but once I changed to a larger handle, the torque with it became much easier. And the advantage is because it's so much lighter than a big jumbo round reel with a huge handle that's much heavier on your wrist and your shoulder. So there's pros and cons to it. I prefer low profile if I can. Future trip, I think if the trip on the 30th is a go, I won't be taking a low profile. And look at this one. This is a great example. When that thing hit it, and started taking it down. So it felt like a big fish, but once it came up, maybe a quarter of the way, it stopped fighting. And I knew it was a light fish. It wasn't like a big fish that had the other bait and then let go. It was that small fish that was that aggressive. It hit it hard, and then it started pulling drag. That's how aggressive these fish were. And this one too, like look at that. Like those are fish, those kind of little drag usually I would expect an easy keeper, but they keep pulling up, and they're all small fish that were super aggressive, and then they're basically pulling the bait and running with it. So yeah, I think the big fish are down there, definitely. I think the captain got us on the right spot. I think I just suck at fishing. I think some of the regulars, and if there are people that are much better, seasoned regulars, I think they would have easily caught a limit. I think on this trip I didn't see the ones that usually get the limits, the seasoned regulars that are. There's that one Korean lady who gets limit all the time, but she wasn't there. I've heard she got easy limit on a following trip and stuff like that. So yeah, the fish are down there. It's just matter of just making adjustment, which now I know because the recent trip I did much better. It's a matter of just waiting for that big fish to bite, because small fish are going to be very aggressive. And then I think the second adjustment I had to make was putting a bigger hook. So if you have anything 4.0 or below, you're most definitely gonna get a small fish, and you do have a chance to get like trigger fish. But if you want to keep the small fish out. Maybe for your hooks, consider using like a at least 5/0 or a bigger hook. Put bigger bait, and then to avoid hooking the smaller one. But again, it was a pretty good trip. Just non-stop bite. Kept biting and biting, and we had a blast. There's a smaller fish again. It's crazy that I thought, I kept thinking every time it looks like a keeper, but
13인치 될 것 같은데. 안으로 일단 갖고 들어오세요.
so like the total count again, I had 1 keeper flounder and 2 keeper black sea bass, and then 3 bluefish. And my coworker, I think he had 2 black sea bass keeper, and then 2 bluefish. 1 pretty good sized bluefish, like almost over 20-inch bluefish, I think. One good thing was that I didn't lose any jigs. I think I lost 1 jig on this day, so there wasn't much snags. And there's another aggressive fish that you could tell when I caught it. It felt much bigger, like, and you could see the stomach kind of sticking out. It just means that that's how deep it was. We were fishing like 160, 180 feet. And again, this is a 10-hour trip. I think we went out 3 hours or so, a little over 3 hours, 3.5 hours. The following trip that I went 2 weeks later, 2 or 3 weeks later, the video, I have a video for it, and that's a 12-hour trip. That trip we went out 4 hours, and we're fishing. We started fishing 190 feet or something like that, and we're fishing somewhere in the 200 feet range. And the captain was ready to take us to 300 feet, but people are getting limits and doing really well with big jumbos at the 200 feet range. So that's where we fished. So if you guys are watching this and plan to go on Ocean Princess trip by end of this year, make sure you avoid any reels that hold below 300 feet. You want to take at least 400 feet of line, like a round reel, more of an offshore reel and rod if you can. Because on this day we were able to easily use a 8-ounce, 6-ounce, and I was using slow pitch jigs that were maybe 150 grams easily, and the water current was calm, and we weren't drifting, we were anchored. But when he decided to take us out 4 hours for 300 feet, the plan was to use 16 ounces. If we did, it turned out to be that we only needed 8 ounce or even below that. But yeah, if we fished 300 feet and we're drifting, we would have definitely had to use a 16 ounce or even 24 ounce sinker. But that doesn't mean you need to pack it. Ocean Princess is really good with lending you, not forcing you to purchase overpriced sinker. So they'll lend it to you. Just make sure you return it, and also tip the mates really well if you can. And that's what I do. Whether I need a 16 ounce or 8 ounce, they'll supply for me. Just let me borrow it, and then I try my best to return it and also add a little bit extra on the tip. So my coworker, he had a blast too. Now he's like a permanent customer to Ocean Princess. He wants me to give him a call so that he could tag along as much as he can. And Ocean Princess is one of the best boats out there, I think. And if you guys can't book Ocean Princess, there's also a Miss Kathleen. a trip that I'm going to be taking a lot more next year, as much as I can. And also anglers, they're very known, they're popular, and a lot of people go there, a lot of regulars, but just way too much shoulder to shoulder. When you're with regulars, cool, but when there's tourists that just get their line out across the whole boat, that's what I want to avoid. So last time I went to angler was like 2 years ago, I think. And then there's also Morningstar if you guys are looking for another boat. A little bit more expensive, but they're one of the most well-known sort of a headboat that runs like a charter. If you go up to Delaware, I would highly recommend going to Judy B, which is in the winter, early spring, they go out on Judy B for a full day. Later summer and early fall, it's Captain Bob with Captain Chris as the one taking you out for a full day trip. He's probably one of the best ones to get you on flounder, and then also for headboats, probably the only one that will get you on togs. Really good, so I really recommend that boat too. But this was a good trip. I mean, I could tell the captain and Jeff were pretty not stressed out, but a little bit concerned that, I'm pretty sure there's always that customer that complains about not catching fish, and I'm like, if you want to catch fish that much,
it's time for us to pick our lines up and head in for the dock. I don't know what's going on out here today.
You could hear it from his
all this
voice.
stuff about here for the last 3 weeks. No one's fished it. It's been too rough to go out and fish, but market's something where we go, but they are not biting good at all today. Very, very tough fishing today. But I'll get on the sea bass crisis hotline tonight, find out what went on with the other boats today. It's pretty tough, but let's go ahead and bring them on in. If you rented a rod from us, Jeff would appreciate it if you take the bait off the hooks. Leave the rod in the rod holder and secure the sinker around the handrail. Jeff will be around to pick them up while he's cleaning on the way in. And please, folks, by all means, take care of the mate today. Just like a waiter, waitress, a bartender, he does work for tips and works very hard to try to give you a pleasant trip on the water. 15 to 20% of the cost of your trip is customary, and he certainly does appreciate it. Let us pick them up. It's time for us to pick our lines up and head on for home. Got almost a 40-mile run, so time to head on in.
Like you said, when you're tipping, I try to tip minimum 20% or more. Again, I'm trying to get the last bite, but you could hear from his frustration too. If Captain Victor on Ocean Princess is not getting you fish, most likely none of the boats out there are getting sea bass, so just keep that in mind. I know most of the boats are no longer going out for fishing. Ocean Princess, like I said recently, they got us some fish. It was hotter than ever, so go check them out. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I enjoyed it, and don't try to give them a hard time about not catching any fish. They do their best.